Hi, Terry Blackburn again. So today we're going to do part 2 of the Q&A on Instagram and Facebook. So hopefully the first session you took something from, it helped you in some way. I'm going to answer more questions that have been asked today. If you do have any further questions, please put them in the comments, inbox me. I will get my social media team to look into it and we'll try and answer as many as we can on these sessions. So enjoy. So one question I get asked a lot is buy to let or HMO. Again, I said this in the first session that, there's no black and white with property. It is subjective and it depends on so many different things. There's so many grey areas. So the answer to buy to let a HMO, I can tell you what I've done and I can tell you what I think you should do, but it is very, very subjective. It is very, very different depending on you. So depending on your income levels, if you've got 40 grand or you've got 400 grand, your strategy is different. If you have a full-time job, very little time to put into this, your strategy becomes different. Your experience levels determines what you should be doing in the answer to this question, so it's a very broad answer, So me personally, I started off with buy to lets. I wanted to understand the process. I wanted to get used to dealing with solicitors and lenders and letting agents, estate agents, insurance companies, builders. You've got to walk before you can run, in my opinion. Don't jump in at the deep end because you might not be able to swim. Jump in the deep end with some armbands on, as in you're a bit educated, but I would probably start off in the shallow end, if I'm honest, with property, because you can lose a lot of money. I started off with buy to let. I then moved into, I was buying heavily since 2017, but before that, probably 2014-ish was my first property. Started off slow, but it was only 2019, back into 2019, started 2020 when I started to buy HMOs. So now I have quite a few HMOs. I personally really enjoy the HMOs. It's more profit, first of all, but it comes with more hassle. But I quite enjoy the process of getting something, looking at a floor plan, deciding where the en-suites are going to go, being a little bit creative, furnishing it, staging it in a nice way that stands out from the competition, that is different to buy-to-lets. And I quite enjoy that personally, so I'm going to continue with HMOs. But if I come across a buy-to-let that meets my criteria, that is a decent buy, I will buy it. So I would never choose one over the other right now, but at the start it was all buy-to-lets. Now I'm probably leaning more towards HMOs than buy-to-lets, but I would look at both for sure. So yeah, long answer, but that is my thoughts on whether it's buy-to-let or HMO. So I do get asked a lot, would I consider using a sourcing agent, and do I currently use them, or have I used them, or do I do it all myself? So yes, I would consider using a sourcing agent. I've never used one before for the simple reason that I've found them all myself. Everything I've ever bought is Rightmove, Zoopla on the market. I've done a couple of direct-to-vendor campaigns, didn't really go anywhere. I'm not a big fan, but I have just managed to find them all myself. I do have a lot of staff who can help me with viewings, taking videos, negotiating. I've got an ops manager who manages all my refurbs and things once we purchase something, because I purely don't have the time. I simply don't have the time with everything I've got going on. I would consider it if the deal was right, but one thing about sourcing agents, unfortunately, there's a hell of a lot of them online, on Instagram in particular, who I'm not confident enough in to purchase anything through. Some of these people just claim to be a sourcing agent because they've done a 5-day course and they're selling you absolute rubbish, in my opinion. Some of them, there's definitely some good ones out there. I'm not going to mention any names on the good and the bad, but you don't have to look hard to see who's credible, who knows the stuff and who doesn't. So yeah. Do I self-manage or do I use a letting agent? All day long, I will never change from this. I use a letting agent. I don't want any hassle. My life is busy enough as it is. There's multiple businesses, family life, social life, and everything that I've got going on, it's very, very full on. I work a stupid amount of hours, most days of the week. Very little time off, because I want to, because I love it. But if I start to self-manage on top of all that, it's going to be too much. So why would I bother, pay someone 10%, 12%, whatever it may be, to take the hassle away is more than worth it. It's more than worth it. I'll pay more than that. But if my letting agent's watching, I'm not going to pay more than that, so don't try. But you know what I'm saying, it is worth the money. 10, 15%, it's worth the money, man, because it just gets it off you. You can focus on whatever else that you do in your day-to-day business, your day-to-day job, and sourcing, finding properties, whatever else, finding the deals, the high-value tasks. In my opinion, letting agent, it's not a high-value task. and I value my time more than 10-15%. So yeah, that's my answer. Nothing wrong with self-managing, but it's not for me. So a lot of people do ask this, and unfortunately there's a hell of a lot of coaches out there, some a lot better than others. I personally have a property coach, I personally have a business coach as well. I'm a big believer in coaches. Would Cristiano Ronaldo be the same player without Alex Ferguson? Without his management? Probably not. There's countless examples like that. A coach can force you to level up. A coach can help you get to the next level. One thing I do like about coaching, if you get somebody who's achieved more than you, it pushes you down, because for example, if you've got the most property out of all your friends, you feel like you're the man, you know, I'm the man, I've got all the property. You're in your comfort zone because you're doing the best. But if you put yourself in a situation where you have the lowest amount of property and these people are doing huge conversions and big schemes, it forces you to level up. The conversation is different over there. So coaching naturally or normally does that. You know, again, it comes down to be careful who you're getting coaching off, and to be careful who you're taking advice off, because there's a lot of people online, check them out on company's house, like they're not who they say they are and they're not doing what they say they're doing. So why take advice off them? You know, you wouldn't go to the barbers and say, oh yeah, the apprentice can cut my hair, it's the first time he's ever cut hair, no problem, cut my hair. You know, you wouldn't take advice off a really overweight personal trainer, would you? You wouldn't take diet advice of someone who didn't have a good body, in my opinion. So think of your coaching like that. Pick the people who have done what you're trying to do. But there's nothing wrong with having a coach at all. Park your ego, park your pride, get a coach, in my opinion. Like I say, I have a business coach and a property coach, and they both help me level up massively. So yeah.